Hello, everyone. Welcome to our inside room. And today we are talking about how to get into voiceover and how to have a successful long career in voiceover. I'm going to bring you the perspective of a working casting director. And with me is Nick Omana, who is a working voiceover actor, and will bring you the perspective from a working voiceover talent. So, why don't, since we're talking about two perspectives, why don't I first ask Nick what his perspective is of how would he say someone gets into voiceover, and then I'll add mine.
I basically the easiest way is very large crowbar and just force that door open. Shy of that, no, really spend the time to learn the craft. The business has gotten very competitive, as most businesses do. And so you want to be able to go out there and compete on as high a level as you possibly can. Now, do you need to be top of the heap? That is hopefully the goal. Perfection is something that we all strive for, but do not mire yourself in expecting perfection all the time. That will be a progress killer. And everybody knows, and agents too, when you first start in the business, they know you're coming in. So they're going to submit you on things that may not be the big jobs. They're going to wait for you to prove yourself out and know that they can count on you and that you are able to deliver the goods. And then they move you up the ladder. So really the best way to do it is get started, learn the foundational elements, really build out a very good, strong foundation to build upon. And, you don't want to build your dream home in quicksand. So it's a beautiful house. Is it just? So yeah, that's really the best thing I can offer in the way of how to get started.
And I agree because as a casting director, we have to trust the talent that submits to us that we invite to audition. Or when your agent, once you have an agent, that's part of the vetting process. So we can trust that you've been vetted and that you are ready. But you definitely have to be ready because it's one thing to give a good audition and then another thing to be ready to be in that recording studio with the big guys.
Yeah.
And because they stretch you all over the place. Um,
That
when
actually raises a question for me real quickly, and I'm sorry to interrupt your flow there, but in the audition process, can you hear sometimes when somebody has worked too hard on the audition with editing or processing or any of those things?
Definitely your audition should be very natural. In other words, it shouldn't be over edited. We can tell when it's over edited. Probably your spaces are too tight and there's life in those spaces and breath, so to speak. And I don't mean that kind of breath. I mean the little moment of space. Yeah, we can definitely tell. So I teach with Nick and I've been teaching with him for years. And I know that Nick really believes before everyone like wants that demo. And I know that Nick believes that your demo should represent definitely where you're at, and your demo shouldn't be over edited also.
Yeah. It's really
So,
horrible when they get into the booth and somebody books you off your demo and you can't give them or deliver to them in the booth what they hired you for. That will come back and haunt you even more than not having a really great demo. Everybody wants a great demo,
yeah.
but again,
In fact, we just finished 2 days of bookings, hour to hour to hour. There was another talent. It was a very big project. And I want you guys to know, and I see, oh, there are people here from Florida and North Carolina and Maryland. Hi, everyone, Delaware. Thank you for joining us. So on this project, the producer actually texts me all day long and says, "Oh, so and so was great. What a great experience we had with him or her." And then I got one, how long has so and so been in the business? He's a little hard to work with. And what I found out is that it's really, really important when you are booked that you're able to give variations of your read. So if you over edit your audition, as Nick was bringing up, and it's perfect, um, it doesn't do you any good to fool anyone and represent yourself as being, um, having more uh, of what you can do than what you can do.
Better to under promise and over deliver.
Yeah, exactly. So it's very important to be able, when you're in that booking, to give variations. So that's really important. I thought maybe we could jump into, I mean, we teach the 5 elements that it takes for a good read, how to break down copy, that color. I don't know, you guys might not know that color lens is another technique to lend to your read. And maybe we'll go into breaking down the copy, but I think the color is so interesting. And when I'm out there as a guest to other workout groups, sometimes I'll refer to color, and most people don't know what that is. Do you want to talk a little about that, Nick?
Sure. I mean, really, when you think about it, there's a reason why wear red when I
Yeah.
come into these things. It There's an energy that goes with a color. And I think a lot of times people don't really realize the subtlety it can add to your read when you consider color as part of it. One of the other things we deal in what we teach is music, because that will set a tone. There's a reason. If you look at movies, the reason that there is an Oscar category for best original score, and because the music does so much to set the tone on a subliminal level. So the same thing with this, color will do things. If you see something and you deal in bright reds or blues, nice, deep, rich blue, or a purple, which is very rich and velvety. And so it just, we bring those things as another tool. And the basic idea is you can give subtle nuances to your read that will help in the end product. Just like everything, if you overuse anything, if you oversalt a dish, it's like, ooh, but if there's no salt, it's like, ah. So, learning how to use these things. And one of the things, Terry and I were just talking about this, and something that came to mind the other day. We can give you tools, and it's more important that you learn how to use those tools than just having the tools. I mean, how many times have you read, books and great information? Have you ever really taken that information and applied it? That's what this is all about. The workbook that we work with is something that's been curated over many, many years. When I started teaching with my mentor, Tom Pinto, many years ago, a lot of the things in there are the basics he taught me. And I would love to say all of it came from this brain trust. Um,
Oh, you fooled me all these
I steal
years.
with love. That's what it is. Yeah. But it's really those things that Tom was the one that really kind of got me onto the whole thing of what colors do, because it was born out of a psychological study in how colors will elicit certain emotional responses. So if you can have that working in the background while you're reading, it just helps add a subtlety and a nuance to your read that would not exist otherwise. And
I'll
that's
give,
really what makes a difference. Go ahead.
yeah, I can give an example of that. I
Sure.
was directing someone and I said, make it a little warmer. And they did it again and it did not sound warmer. So I said, have you ever worked with color? And they said, no. So I said, well, would you agree that amber, like amber in a fireplace, from a, warm, cozy fire gives you a warm feeling? And they said, yes. So I said, well, close your eyes for a minute and surround yourself with this amber color. Do what you have to do. Maybe visualize a fireplace is on. And now open your eye, really surround yourself with that color, that warmth, and read again in that room, in that with that surrounded by that color.
Yeah.
So that's how I used color with this person. So anything that we give you, yes, you interpret it and use it your own way.
Yeah.
This is a very creative business.
It's really, it's so much fun when you find different ways of doing things. I don't know if any of you paint or do anything like that. Um, I like to noodle on, my guitar or my harmonica or anything. And all of a sudden it's like you start playing around with stuff and I didn't realize I could do that. Oh, that's really cool. And then you incorporate it a little bit at a time. It becomes something you can do with ease. And that really is the bottom line is don't be afraid to explore, spend some free time kind of pushing your boundaries, because when you push out here and you relax there, that's definitely much broader than that, but it's not way out here. You just get your comfort zone. And the thing that's hard to imagine is getting comfortable with being uncomfortable.
I do it all the time. I can't tell you how many times I'll text someone, well, I'm doing this. I'm really uncomfortable, but I'm doing it. And then there's such relief because there was nothing to really be uncomfortable about. So there's all kinds of ways of pushing your boundaries. And
Yeah.
I do want to go into breaking down a piece of copy because I think that's fascinating. But before we do, I just want to say I can assure you all that once you get going, um, things will be attracted to you. I mean, opportunities will be attracted to you. All of a sudden, a friend will tell you about an audition or a project, or because it happens to our students all the time.
Yeah.
Just when you get involved with something, I really do believe, and I live by the law of attraction. So things will start happening. Definitely.
Yeah. Yeah. It's amazing how well, one, you can't live what you can't imagine. So you have to dream a little bit, but you also have to have a foot in reality where those dreams actually need to become goals. And once you set a dream to a goal, you put a timeline to it, because without a timeline, there's no reason to get to it. And, you know, I was just telling Terry, I've got something going on that I've been working on for a while, and now I have a deadline. And it's like, okay, now it's real. Now it is real. So I'll fill you all in on that when things get a little more um, down the road. But it's pretty darn exciting, and that's the whole thing. Is very much to what Terry is saying. You put yourself out there, and it's amazing. You attract what you put out. If you
Mhm.
put out negativity, you will attract negativity. If your thoughts are in that path, that is what, this is the one part in nature where magnets don't apply. Opposites do not attract. It's like and same. So if you surround yourself with creative people, if you surround yourself with people who are integritous and hardworking and visionary, that is what you will become. So that
Absolutely.
really is, didn't realize you're going to get a life lesson along the way here today,
Yeah.
did
Well, someone I spawn says, hello, voice family. It's true. Those of you who are on here who are already into voiceovers knows that it's a very supportive community. And online, there are lots of groups that you can join and lots of ways to network online. And yeah, and those of you who aren't in it yet, it's an exciting thing for you to know that. Um,
you? Voiceover artists and people that populate the voiceover industry are some of the nicest people you will ever meet. They are wonderfully supportive. Um, I've referred work to people if I wasn't right for the job. I would rather tell a client, you know what, but let me give you two or three names. And guess who gets called first next time? Because they know I'll give them the straight skinny. I don't just want a paycheck. I want to build a relationship where they know they can come back to me. And so that is really what you will find predominantly in the voiceover industry is people that are that same basic mind. They're just and they're a lot of fun, plus really creative too.
Yeah. Oh, we have South Dakota on here too.
Oh yeah, Ralph Duke.
All right. So let's talk about breaking down a piece of voiceover copy. There are 5 elements to a read. Do you want to tell us about some of those,
Sure. The
Nick?
5 elements are speed, energy, volume, inflection, and smile. And so speed can be fast, medium, or slow. Energy can be high, medium, or low. Um, volume can be loud, medium, or soft. Inflection can be highly inflected, moderately inflected, or flat. And then smile can be a lot of smile, a little smile, and no smile. So if you can learn to work the clutch between those 5 different elements, and these are technical elements before you even add on the acting part of what we do, people don't realize how much versatility you have on a technical level. And oftentimes, speed, energy, and volume will kind of get confused for one another, especially speed and volume. If I say, give me more energy, people will get inadvertently louder and or faster.
Right.
And conversely, the opposite. It's like, you know, I can give you something that's got a lot of energy and very little speed or volume, or something that's got a lot of speed and very little energy. So it's just a matter of knowing what you want to do and also knowing how to work the mic. If you're going to be, I mean, I'm about a fist and a half away from the mic, which is standard for me using a normal speaking volume. If I'm going to yell even more, I want to get back, but you have to be careful where you don't get so far off mic it sounds hollow. But you also don't want to overmodulate at the source, which is distortion, which you can't get rid of. But then again, if you move in really tight on the mic, you hardly have to project at all. And that's the volume thing. If you can learn to get comfortable with projecting very, very little voice as soft as you can without slipping into a full whisper, because a whisper doesn't come across well on unless you got an AMSR,
Mm.
commercial, which drive me crazy. But
Oh, sorry.
oh, go ahead.
I always start out with saying there are 3 basic ways to work the mic. Towards it, like you're telling someone something. Past it, where you don't even pay attention to it, which you would use for personality-driven spots or reads, which really are radio, because in radio you're painting the whole picture. And then the one that Nick just showed us, which is very intimate, right into the mic. So those are 3 basic ways to use the mic. And then also read the narration. And there's a lot of information in that. There are, for instance, if there's rolling hills, that's very different than cement buildings. And also, is it a close-up shot or is it a wide shot? Um, very, very important.
And
There's
that's
different.
very specific to TV, which is very different from a radio read.
Yeah.
As Terry was saying earlier, when you do radio reads, your job is to paint the picture in the mind of the listener. With a TV spot, your job is to support the picture, but not overtake the picture. So you
Exactly.
have to be cognizant of what's going on camera. If you
Yeah.
are fortunate enough to have a breakdown, and sometimes I even get sent a rough cut of the spot,
Mhm.
and it's like, great, that is so helpful because now I know what I'm going to be working to.
Right.
So that helps a tremendous amount in giving the proper projection level, proper energy level, proper speed, especially when you can time it out against, the breakdown. If you have the video breakdown here
Yeah.
and you have the audio breakdown, you have a
Yeah.
basic idea of how long you've got per shot.
Food. This comes in with food a lot. Like if it's a restaurant and they're very tight shots of the bubbling cheese or the sizzling piece of meat.
And now I'm getting hungry.
I know, sorry, Nick. Or if it's a wide shot, of a big um counter full of dishes and big bright colors, it tells you how your read should be.
Yep, there are a lot of commercials on right now that I'm seeing where there's a fair amount of energy. Like I want to say it's BJ's or something where they have a Pizookie cookie that you can. There's a deal going on, but there's a fair amount of energy because most of the shots are medium to long shots where it's groups of people at a table. But if the whole thing started out, I've seen some for like Red Lobster, where it's a lot of close-ups and you're talking about the various different types of shrimp deals. And we have scampi, we have this, we have that. It's like,
Mhm.
so it's all working to the picture. And again, funny enough, it's intimate, but it has energy
Mhm.
because it's a fun place to go.
Right.
So, that's the knowing how to balance those things out. Also be aware sometimes of certain campaigns are done by certain agencies, and ad agencies have styles.
Mhm.
Gray advertising, when I was doing Bank of America, boy, Gray definitely described the anyway.
Sometimes, but sometimes they're looking to change their style.
Yeah,
So that could be a trap too. So be careful. Be
yeah.
careful of that.
And don't be afraid to ask questions.
Oh, definitely.
There's never been a time that I've reached out. If Terry sends me something, I will ask for clarification, or my
Mhm.
agent sends something. I recently asked a question that was so obvious that I sat there and I said, I am so sorry. I'm going to blame it on age. There. Now you can't give me a hard time. But really, but we both laughed about it. And he said, in all the years I've known you, that's the first time you've ever had one that was that bad. Like, okay, I get one pass. But that, the one thing I will say is my agents are always very quick to get back to me on that because they want the turnaround as quick as possible. They know
Right.
that the more time I have to be able to deliver my auditions, the better my auditions will be. I really don't like this 2 hour, 3 hour turnaround stuff. I like to live with a script a little bit rather than just rip and read. I mean, that reminds me of my old radio days. And it's like, that wasn't good stuff back then. So,
I think all the information we're telling you, we're starting to talk about it's pretty obvious, guys, that um there's a basic foundation that you have to know, and then there's all kinds of nuances to get better and better, be more advanced, more advanced, more advanced. And it's so much fun when you can play with these nuances.
oh, yeah.
It's really a lot of fun. Which reminds me, if you're invited to give two reads, which I always do unless it's very, very long copy, make sure that your second read is different, even if it's slightly different. And the more intimate the spot is, the tighter. So there aren't these big, wide differences. So you have to learn how to do nuance differences. Because if I hear the second read the same as the first read,
That's a
it's
waste of time.
very negative feeling towards you. Don't take it personally towards your reads because it's exactly the same. So what are they going to do in a studio when they're asked to, give a little variation?
Yeah.
So definitely make it a little different. And that's where what Nick was talking about earlier, tones, rhythms, attitudes, just change your attitude.
Yep.
I will
Change who
tell
you're
you
talking to.
exactly. And what I'm finding out now is it's who, not only who are you talking to, but who are you saying this? Like I'm finding, like I'll get parole going through agents easily, ugh, 750 auditions for one role, easily. And I listen to all of them. That's what a casting director does.
Well, that's because you're good at your job.
Thank you. Thank you. And um, but the client will only accept 30 reads. So it comes down to I have to do a first sweep where I'm very, very generous, second sweep, and then it could come down to a third or fourth sweep. And it will always come down to I love analyzing. I love analyzing scripts and I love analyzing situations. So I started thinking about, well, what is it that's making this read stand out to me? And it's that it has a point of view, even if it's information. This is for a commercial. I'm not talking about um, educational things. That gets us into something else. There's so many voiceover opportunities, so many. We'll get into that in a minute. But I really listen to, so it's not just straight informational. The person has a point of view. For instance, I was casting for a credit card that's used for travel a lot. So I basically wanted to hear a person I felt was knowledgeable, who travels. They know what they're talking about because they travel a lot. So there's a certain attitude, very subtle, because like Nick said, you can't take over. It's not about you, it's about supporting the picture. But within that, all that that's going on, there's a little attitude, a point of view. So here we go, subtleties again.
Yeah, yeah. Well, it's like anything. If I can see what you're doing, you're not doing it well. If I can hear what you're doing, you're not doing it well. It needs to be
Mhm.
subtle. It needs to be something that just kind of slides right in there, and you go, "Huh, that was I saw what you did there. That was very good."
Yeah.
So
Um, yeah, what else, Nick?
I was going to say the other thing too is kind of going back to what you're saying about the two takes in the audition. Um, Really, what I try to do is first take is per the specs, which means 90% of the people that are submitting are going to do the same thing or within a given boundary, because that's what the read would expect. The second take is where you get your chance to give your version, where you get to be, and not so much so that it kind of throws all the specs out the window,
Hmm.
but give it that one little twist, that one little thing that you do. And if it's a piece of radio copy, that's where you can have fun with the ad libs, where you can throw a little bit. And again, not you're not rewriting the whole spot, but you're throwing in something that will just top it and or put a button to it and maybe put a smile on the producer's face. So that's and to take that into the studio, also being able to deliver different reads that are still going to satisfy the spec. You can't, if they say, hey, give us an ABC of the tag, so take A, take B, take C, need to be different. If you give them three of the same thing, they just go, why? But again, it needs to be different, but it still needs to be able to cut with what they're just adding it to. So there's a balance, and it's always the case in life as well. Falling within the median is fine. Being on the extreme on either side is not good.
Right. Just I thought I'd read something from um our notes. We have this book that we give everyone in our core kickstart. Um, just to bring to mind like how many different nuances of reads there are, and some aren't so nuanced. Upbeat. You might be told, read it upbeat, warm it up a bit, friendly, give it a little more smile, less smile, sympathetic, humorous, give it a little more personality driven, make it sound a little realer. Add some dry wit to that. Can you make it sound a little more self-deprecating? Can you make it a little more serious, a little brighter, sound a little more curious? Add some compassion to that. Slow it down, pick it up, lilt it, don't hit it, drive it more, give it a little more authority, give it less authority. pull it back. Make it sound a little more cosmetic-y. So, it's really fascinating
Yeah. I don't know
how
if I'm
we
good enough
know
to
how
do
to speak to each
self-deprecating though.
other.
I just
Um, yeah, and when we're in the same room, we can talk this language, and you guys out there who are with us can do it on a dime. I know as a casting director, sometimes I get a little nervous with the breakdown of what's asked for me. And I put it out there, but after all these years of doing it, I keep reminding myself, Terry, the voiceover actors have come through for you every single time. There's going to be someone or quite a number of people who can do this. And it's great for me as a casting director to be part of this community. I do what I do. You guys do what you do. I so respect what you do. And I respect that when I put it out there, if you have an agent, or even if you don't, if I met you somehow and I put it out there directly, or I put it out on a breakdown service, which is not a voiceover service, which is unusual for voiceover casting directors to do. I know that you're out there. I know you're waiting. I know you're working on your craft. Um, I write blogs for casting networks, and one was quite a while ago is what's my definition of a working actor? And it's working at your craft. That is a working actor working at your craft. And then you get a booking here, a booking there, but there's all that in between time. I don't consider you an actor if you're not working on your craft.
yeah.
I really respect when you're working on your craft.
Well, and it doesn't matter what level you're at, how long you've been at it.
Oh,
I
yeah.
still every once in a while will call up one of my mentors, one of my coaches, and say, "Hey, you know what? I'm feeling a little stale here. I need to break some habits."
Yeah.
That's if you're not growing, if you're not learning, if you're not moving forward, you're doing the exact
Yeah.
opposite. There are only two. Every life is very binary. It's you're either doing it or you're
Yeah.
not.
I had someone, he actually is makes $1 million in voiceovers because he has some accounts, which are more announcery, but he also works in the more non-announcer, more real. And he said, I'd love a private with you. And I said, okay, great, but why? And he said, I wrote down in the beginning of this year that a goal that I had to stimulate and stir things up for myself, just as you're saying, Nick. And what I wrote down is I am going to take a private with every voiceover casting director. Not because I have to meet them, they already know me. I already know him. Um, um, he said, but I want to see the perspective of each person. So,
Well, and also learn what it is that you see in them at this point and what they might also learn to develop to have you see more.
yeah, I know you guys who are with us and those who are listening when we rerun this, if if you're just starting out in this, or if you're in the middle, kind of intermediate and not, you know, booking a lot, I think the most valuable thing I can bring to you is tools and an understanding to open up your mind and your thought process to possibilities. So you can look at this and that's a possibility, look at that, that's a possibility, and then play with
Yeah.
different possibilities and then make a decision. Because we really never know exactly if our choice is exactly right.
Yep.
Um, so I think, and that's creative, isn't it? Now that I
Oh,
say
very
it.
much so.
Yeah, because we're
Well,
in the
and
creative.
you used the word decision, which I really can't emphasize enough how important that is. until you decide something, everything is nebulous. The decision is what causes the next step. That is, I'm going to do this. Great. Now that I've done that, I'm going to do this. So it's a series of decisions to get you to that end point. But you have to have a series of steps in mind.
Right.
And then, like anything, it doesn't become real until you set a goal and a deadline.
Right.
And like this gentleman did, he said, this year, I'm going to reach out. Okay. There are dozens of casting directors. So he's looking at maybe one or two a month.
Right. Yeah.
But it's a very realistic goal and it's a very realistic plan. And he stuck to it.
Yeah. So those of you who want to start, learn the basics, learn the foundation, then go to an intermediate level. By the time you're at that level, you'll start networking with other voiceover friends. And then you work out with these people and go to workout groups. And then you get better and better and better and more confident. And then, for instance, what we teach are in this core kickstart that's coming up, by the way, I haven't even mentioned it, January 23rd. And it's designed for 3 sessions, 3 quick, extremely comprehensive sessions with this big workbook that you get. That's not overwhelming because it's so organized. But then what was I saying? Where was I going with this? Yeah, you just I can't remember where I was going with. I was
Well,
in organizational mode, I think.
yeah, it'll be July 23rd, Wednesdays, for 3 weeks, and it will give you a good solid foundation. And
Oh, I
I've
know where
had
I was. Thank
oh,
you.
you're welcome.
Thank you. Then there are all different kinds of venues that you can branch out in. You have commercial, TV, radio, promo,
Narration,
e-learning.
audiobooks, e-learning. Yeah.
Yeah. Now with the internet, there's all kinds of opportunities, internet opportunities, things that are running on the internet. Um, there's museums, narration for museums, there's narration for real estate companies, all kinds of companies have narrators. Um, oh, there's animation, there's
Yeah, games. Yeah,
games.
yeah.
Yeah.
Look at
So,
all the things, Waze, everybody, there are apps out there that
yeah.
have a need for that stuff. And it's interesting because they could easily do AI. And you know why they don't? Because
I
people
do.
don't listen to AI. I think, a lot of times there's a difference between a real voice that is used to put together these things
Mm.
and an AI generated voice. And you can hear the difference. I actually called a company a few weeks ago. It's probably a couple of months now. But I wanted to find out some information. I was going to buy something, and their IVR was AI generated. So when I was left, to leave a message, I sat there and said, you know what? I've decided not to work with your company because if you're going to cut corners there, I don't know where else you're cutting corners. So thank you, but no thank you. And I hung up.
Do you know what's interesting? I was just on my Facebook and there was something I wanted to buy. Advertisements come up all the time. And I put a lot of time into listening to the video about what it was about.
Yeah.
And it was obviously AI generated, obviously. And it kept coming up, oh, but this is AI. It's not even real people. Like what's the truth in this? How authentic is this? And I kept listening because I really wanted this product. And my watch just went off for it's time for questions. And I ended up saying, no, I'm not buying this because it's so inauthentic that, like you said, I this product is not going to be good.
Yep. Yep. It usually is. With AI, there's always a tell. When they take the word READ and they mispronounce it where it should have been read, but it came out read.
Yeah.
Or I was listening to one. It was pretty good, but they said this is a very simple recipe.
Yeah.
I'm sorry, what? I don't want to eat that. Who knows what's in it? So, but yeah, yeah.
Anyway,
Well, we should probably open
Jamie,
up the room to questions and answers. Eh?
Jamie, do we have questions?
I didn't see any that were put in the chat
Oh my
during.
goodness, you
So
guys,
if
put your
anybody has
questions
questions
in.
now, take this opportunity. Go ahead and
Carol,
put your cameras up and we'll do
I
that.
see
Hi.
Carol. Let me bring you up into the room.
Oh, okay. Hey, everyone. Hey, Terry, so great to see you again.
You
And
too.
very nice to meet you, Nick. This is
Nice to meet you, Mel.
fascinating to me. I just started learning how to do voiceover, the editing and learning how to use Audacity. So I'm really at that part because I have to learn that. So, how important is it when you're doing this to really, I mean, because this editing thing, technology, it could just make you nuts. How important is it to really, really edit it? I mean, I could see getting out some of the breaths, but I mean, is it a big, big deal to edit it so precisely when you send it in?
No, well, let me put it this way. In the audition, it is not. If you're doing the job, it is critical.
We're responsible for the job, or do they do it, or it's just
It depends on who the producer is and how they do it. There are times where there's some producers will do a phone patch, which basically they're directing me via my earpiece, and I'm laying down the tracks on my end, and they'll say, "Hey, could you do us a favor and just clean it up before you send it?" I said, "Yeah, sure, not a problem." Get rid of all the conversation back and forth and stuff like that. Um,
I'm sorry.
oh, go ahead.
Every booking that I have, you, if you're, if they're based in LA, they have a studio in LA. They're based in New York, they have a studio in New York. If you're based, I know you're based in Florida, you would have something called Paid Source Connect. You are not responsible for editing anything. You are on with them, like you're in the room with them. They give you direction, they take care of everything.
Yeah, you log in on your computer and you basically connect directly to their computer. They're recording you via the internet on their end. So
I
it just depends on the individual job.
Mhm.
Um, and you know, editing skills are something you develop just like anything. The more you do it, the better you get. And one of the things that I've learned is keystrokes make things much faster. Just like when you're working on Word,
Mhm.
um, Control C is copy, Control V is paste, Control X is undo,
Shortcuts.
yeah. So when you
Yeah,
learn the shortcuts, you're not always going to the drop down menu with your mouse, which
right.
will make you much, much faster. I don't use Audacity. I should probably be much more versed in it, but I find it frustrating because it doesn't have certain features that the programs I use do. And so it just depends. But, editing is important to a point, but your skills do not have to be one as if you were a studio editor.
Okay. And so in the class that you teach, you're not using Audacity, you're using, was it Adobe something? I mean, I'm so really new at this. I don't know all the
I
terms.
personally use
But
Twisted Wave on my Mac formats, and I use SoundForge, which is it's now from a company called Magix, Magix.com. And they're relatively simple to use, and they're not that expensive. I think you can get the audio studio version of SoundForge for under $100, and I think Twist Wave is about the same.
Yeah. In the class we teach, it's not a tech class. It's
oh,
really do you have your basic strong foundation of your
um,
voice yet? Your voiceover work?
what do you mean what foundation, which
You
part?
know how to
To
Your talent and
record?
abilities.
who you are as a voiceover artist.
No, this is
Well,
really
this will teach you that.
that's what
Start
I
with
want to know.
this.
Yeah.
And
Ah,
Nick said something earlier, and it's about like don't look at something that's like far off in the distance and take that into the present and stop yourself from moving forward.
okay.
Keep moving forward, and I promise you the tech will come and you'll get the type of jobs that you don't need to do everything yourself. I mean, it's news to me that you guys, when you're booked, you have to do this. So, there's a lot of worlds out there, and you'll play in the world where you don't have to do it. When you get booked, it's done for you, and then you'll learn the tech, and it's not
It's not as daunting as some people make it out to be. A lot of times it really is just a matter of sitting down, recording something with purposeful mistakes, and then go back and clean it up and see how well you did. Like anything, don't practice on the job. Spend the time, just like you wouldn't, grab some copy and you'd work on it in between when you're not working to get better at your voice talent stuff. Take the time to record some stuff and do some editing when it's not for all the marbles.
Right. So in your class, you kind of help us figure out what type of jobs or what type of voice what we're good at, what would fit us,
Well,
like
by
what type of-
training you, we're going to train you to
Yeah,
do
that's
voiceovers, and you're going to discover.
ah.
Yeah, a lot of times, I mean, for me, I'm going to take it. I love, analogies, but for my body type, I will not train to be a runner, but I could be a weightlifter any day. So, you try lugging this around and not build muscle. No.
Anyway, we can talk privately about this,
Okay.
but this isn't specifically to sell a class. We do have.
Oh, I know that.
Okay.
I'm excited. Thank you.
Excellent. Nice meeting you,
Yeah.
Meryl.
Nice meeting you. It's good, great
See you,
meeting you,
Meryl.
Terry.
Looks like Isabel, huh?
Hey, Isabel, how are you?
I'm doing well, Nick. Thank you. Hi, Miss Terry.
Hi.
How are you?
Excellent.
Good. You look great.
Thank you.
I told Terry that's a good color on her.
It
You're
is a
right.
really good color. And I'm twinning with the red, Nick.
There you go.
Yeah.
My question is for you, Nick. So
Sure.
I know you're super successful now, apparently, but when you were coming up, did you ever experience imposter syndrome? And if so, how did you deal with it?
No, and that's the imposter in me saying that. No. You know what? If you didn't ever have that question in your mind, if you didn't ever suffer from that, you could not call yourself an actor. There's just no way.
How is it coming up for you?
For
Isabel, yeah,
or for Nick?
for you.
You,
For me.
Isabel.
It's kind of coming up. I've been really focusing on this for just really since last fall to get back into it. I've done all the training in the years before, but really focusing on it and having the time to focus. But the bookings are not coming in as much as I would hope at this point.
Mm-hmm.
But I've done, a lot of coaching, and I've been in rooms with coaches, and then they ask me to help them coach other people. And that's when I really feel like I'm not, the super successful voice actor yet. Who am I to help other people get better at this? And
Well, that's a different kind of imposter syndrome. You're having imposter syndrome for coaching, not for being a voiceover artist.
But on the talent level, we have a tendency to equate our worth, if you will, to the amount of bookings we have.
Mm-hmm.
And that actually is what is blocking you from booking.
Okay.
Because when you walk into the booth, it's really funny. At one point, and at the height of my career, I was doing 3 to 4 jobs a day. And in the last few years, it's maybe 2.5. Sometimes it's a little less, depending on the week. This last month has been quiet, 1 a day, maybe. But you begin to think about that. And then all of a sudden it's like, I remember at one point I was getting ready to go on a trip, and I thought, wow, it's been pretty quiet. And that whole thing kind of kicked in, and I go, well, shoot, they found me out. I'll never work again. And as I was leaving, I always book out the day before for travel. And I got 3 last minute auditions with about 3 hours before I'm ready to head to the airport. It's like, ugh. So I did them, sent them off, got to my destination. 4 more auditions were waiting for me. And then when I get back home, 2 more are waiting for me. It's like, did nobody read my book out thing? And to be fair, I always say I'm booking out, but I'm available for auditions. And while I'm there, I'm going to be working at a studio. So I can still work if I need to. But, you know, they always go, nobody ever listens to me. Then next thing I know, I literally booked all 9 auditions. I've never in my career booked 9 in a row, but it happened that week because I sat there and thought, you know, it's one of 2 things. It's either like, oh, I'm done. I can't tell you how many people when they say they're done and out and they go in for one last audition and they don't care anymore and they book it because they're not in their head. They're not worrying about it. And so oftentimes we can be our own worst enemy and our own biggest block. So just know that when you step into the booth, if you're giving it your best shot, you're doing all the work you need to do, you're not rushing yourself and you're not doing it last minute, you will come around. But the other thing is, and this is what helped me early on, is I love my agents and, you know, they've gotten me a lot of opportunities. But when I first started into the business, I realized, you know, you get a job here, you get a job there, and that gap in between is not enough to make a living. So I would reach out and I would make those contacts on my own. And then oftentimes I would funnel that back through my agent, let them handle all the details and just, you collect the money and send it to me. Some other clients, I just invoice them directly and we get things squared away and it's all done and taken care of. But agents can only do so much. And if you're one of 100 clients, your fair share of that agent's workday is 4.8 minutes because there are only 480 work minutes in a day. You will not build a career, I don't care how concerted the effort is, in 5 minutes a day. So who's going to pick up the mantle on the other 7 hours and 55 minutes to get it done? You know, so whatever you can do to reach out, to make contacts, that also includes getting the coaching. That's time and effort toward your career. You know, doing the marketing stuff, all of those things are very important, making sure your website's up to date, your demos are up to date. All of that stuff is really important. So, but no, you're absolutely right to have that feeling because, as I said, you couldn't call yourself an actor if you didn't, but now get past that, move on and know that you are the talent you are because I've heard you read and you're good. There's no reason why you should doubt yourself because I certainly don't.
Thank you, Nick. I appreciate
You're very welcome.
it much. Thank you. Thank you for your time and your answer.
I
Thank
think it's one of the things, reasons I started this inside room. Like, guys, I want you to feel part of a community. And once you feel a part of a community, it's very empowering. It takes you guys, you actors, to make me feel part of a community. My community, this voiceover community, is me, a casting director, agents, managers, and actors. Like, we are nothing if you don't exist. So do everything you can to feel part of this community.
Yeah.
And you will feel empowered. Okay, hope it helps.
Yes, thank you so very much.
So who do we have next?
Yeah, we're getting close to the end of our time, so I think we maybe have time for maybe 1 or 2 more questions. Who else has a question?
I will try to not be long-winded if it's for me.
Is Tracy asking a question or is she gonna hang out?
I have a question, but I'm not sure how to raise my hand on Zoom because
Tuesday, we'll let you
You
in.
Tuesday?
yes, ma'am.
All right, hang on, honey. Let me get you up
I
here.
wrote them in the
Oh,
chat.
is there a
but-
class for editing?
I've been
I
thinking
personally
of,
don't teach one, but I know there are some out there. It just depends. There's so many different types of programs. But I will say that oftentimes there are YouTube videos that are very product specific, and some of them can be really good. Some of them can be kind of bad. But it just depends on what program you're using.
I can refer you to a couple of people.
Okay, so at what point will I purchase like my equipment, like a booth or whatever it is that I need?
Well,
Because I
I
don't
know
know
that
what
you're
I need yet.
starting with we can talk to you privately about that because I know that you're you're going to be in the core kickstart.
Yes.
And so,
I will be providing an equipment list and a booth plan and everything for you in that, so you can get started in
yeah,
pulling together your stuff.
you'll
Thank
see
you.
some people have equipment, and if you don't, like use a water bottle to simulate a mic so you can work towards the mic, and then you'll start learning about equipment. You'll start learning
Okay.
about equipment.
Okay.
And other
Thank you.
people, if you go on then to the intermediate advanced one, the branding and demo prep, people have everyone shares with each other
Yeah.
information, and we give you information.
Okay. I'm really looking forward to the class.
Looking forward to seeing you there.
All right, Brandon Martinez, you have a question?
Hello.
Hey,
Hi,
Brandon.
Brandon.
Oh, there's my little. Hi, Terry. Hi, Nick. Pleasure to meet y'all. Just a quick question.
Sure.
I think mine was for the core kick. Where would I go on to sign up and like get a little more info? Is that directly on the? Because I'm on your website, but I don't see it.
If you go to the drop-down menu under workshops,
Ah, there it is.
And
All I
there's the
needed
voice.
was some guidance.
there you go.
Thank you so much.
You're
Where are
very
you
welcome.
located, Brandon?
I'm in Los Angeles.
Oh, do you
Oh,
have an
cool.
acting background?
Say that one more time for me.
Do you have an acting background?
Yes. I've been in the industry now for about 4 years.
Perfect.
Cool.
Yeah, that
Thank you.
background will really help you.
Perfect. Thank you so much.
Yeah, it's
Yeah,
it's
you'll
voice
get going.
acting now. It's when I got into it, we were announcers. And then I
Okay.
quickly had to learn how to be a real guy. It's like, wait, I don't want to be a real guy. I've never been a real guy.
So I've been doing this now, voice acting. I do TV and film, but I've transitioned to voice acting for about a year or two. Have an agent, but I don't know anything. So I'm here to get guided and learn, and I'm ready to just take it all in.
Okay.
There you go. There you
Thank
go.
you.
Well,
Yep.
glad to see you here. Thank you.
Thank you so much.
Cool. Thanks, Brandon. We'll look out for your
Nothing like making a decision so you stop wasting your time.
Yeah.
Time wasters, time suckers.
Do we have time for one more? Just
Yeah.
because
You
everybody's
want
so
to have a
patient.
last burning question before we let y'all go?
All righty.
Well, there you go.
I don't have a question, but I just wanted to say hi.
Hi, Ralph.
Thank you,
Where,
Ralph. You always
where are you located?
I'm the one in South Dakota.
Oh, good.
Yeah, I've known Nick for quite some time, and he's put me through the ringer. So, you know,
You have a
it's
great voice. I hate saying this. You have a great voice
Now forget she said that.
because I can hear you doing different things.
yeah, I've been told that before, and I mean,
How you
it
do?
is what it is. From South Dakota, it's kind of hard to, you know, get into a lot of stuff. There's not
That's
stuff here
not true
locally.
in voiceover. Do you have an agent?
Locally. Yeah, I
Oh,
have 3 agents, so
they get
but
breakdowns from all over. No one cares where you're located. Every time I
yeah,
have a booking, people who book for me, some are in LA, some are in Nevada, some are in Iowa, some are in Hawaii, because that's where they decided they want to live because they can do voiceovers living any place.
Yeah.
you know
And
that
it doesn't matter. Agents, I've had an agent, a big one of the top agents say, he books all the time. I never met him. We represent him. We don't care. He books.
yeah, and I mean the main reason why I'm hanging out with Nick is just to meet people and, you know, just be in this community, which is cool.
Yeah.
Well, you should send me your demo because things come up where I need the sound and feel of someone who rides a motorcycle, someone
Funny you
who
should say
has girth to them,
that.
it has come up recently. Definitely send your demo to us.
Nick and I are working on that.
Oh, okay.
Yep. We
We're
got
doing a refresh. So,
Okay.
So as soon as we get that done, you'll be the first person to get it right after I send it off to Ralph.
That'll work.
There you go. Well, very cool.
Okay. All right. This was great. Let's say goodbye to Ralph.
Bye, Ralph. See you in a little bit.
Nick, it was great getting together with you and
I always have a
share.
good time hanging out with you, Terry.
Yeah. Sharing with all of you. Thank you for coming to this. And be on the lookout for other inside rooms with other subjects.